It's Spellman and exit.
Okay, we're ready to start. We're ready to start when you are.
I'm ready.
Passing over to the chairman then for the final meeting of this formation of the Royal Council.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for the wonderful turnout on my last meeting as chairman of this council. We have a number of agenda items to discuss tonight. The first of which, the Royal Courts, clerks, would you please notify us of any absences?
Yeah, we only have one set of apologies, and those apologies are from Chaldan Ironhoof, who he's unavoidably detained, but would like to pass on the comment that he would be happy if his honorary position were to pass to Lord Bellark of the Order, if that was acceptable to the council.
Okay, thank you for that. We'll discuss that when we reach that agenda point later. So the first thing I think we need to talk about and cover off is any business that's outstanding from the last meeting. So if the clerks could please remind us of what we need to discuss today.
So only the reopening of one of our cities that was asked for, which has now taken place, and according to reports, people are now travelling safely in and out of all the cities in Berenice. So that I believe is all that we're waiting for.
Excellent. That was Lionel, correct?
Yes, I can verify that it is reopened. So.
Yeah, fantastic. That's very, very good news. Great. Well, if there is nothing else from the last meeting, then I think what we need to do is set the tone for the next year's worth of council meetings. I've certainly finding, as I've mentioned, the responsibilities and duties I have a little bit excessive at the moment as a Duke of a city, a Baron, Grand Seneschal of the Kingdom, and so on. So I am intending to step down from both the chairmanship and the council. So I will throw the floor open to submissions for both remaining on the council, new council members, and election of the chairman.
I would like to remain on the council if that's acceptable to the group.
Anyone on the council have a problem with the High Priest remaining on the council?
No, it's all good here.
Excellent. Other council members, do you wish to remain in your posts, or do you wish to step down or nominate anyone else?
I'm willing to stay on the council.
Okay, I'll take that as a yes from everybody in that case. So that brings us to the topic of chair. Any volunteers or nominations? I'll say that again. Any volunteers?
Wouldn't there be other people who may wish to be on the council who aren't here on now? Surely you can't appoint the chair till you know who the council is.
If I may step in, Chairman, it's entirely possible for this council to hold over some of the positions, including the chairman, and to discuss that through the mail, as it were, or through a series of missives, and then just simply report and bring the new chairman to the following meeting. But that would mean that you would have to see this meeting out as chairman rather than handing over the duties mid-meeting.
Oh, I think that's fine. Okay, I think I take your point, Grimley, that we should leave the positions open for now and request candidacy submissions from the population as a whole. There's no reason why lords or commoners cannot be part of this council, I don't think, but I would suggest therefore that we open up to submissions and discuss that over the coming weeks, and the election of the new chairman can take place at the first meeting of the new council once it's decided.
Chairman, can you just can we just have a position on Lord Bellark of the Order, which was proposed by Chowden Ironhoof?
Yeah, unless my fellow council members disagree, I see no problem with Lord Bellark putting his name in the hat for submission. Whether it will be accepted through the discussion.
Didn't Chaldan describe it as an honorary position? You seem to think
Chaldan's position is honorary. Yeah. Is
you
clarify?
Sorry, you could decide now to allow Lord Bellark. You have the power to appoint right now if you want to. So you could just say yes, we'll have him on the council, and then determine how many others you want this year on the council, and any spare spaces we would then negotiate through written missives.
Okay, very well. So, High Priest, you wish to remain on the council?
I do.
Baroness Miranda, likewise.
Yep.
Baron Grimley?
I'm not. If I think other people should certainly have a say in that.
Okay.
My idea was always that the barons of the land should have a representation. That shouldn't be the same people every year.
Will the Royal Clerk please remind us how many we have currently sat on the council, in assuming everyone turned up?
9.
9. Okay, I think 9's a good number.
That's 9 including the chair, yeah, is it?
9 including the chair. As when we commenced the Royal Council meetings, I was elected as chair from the initial members in the first meeting. So I propose we carry on with that. So I think 9 should remain as the number. We have 3 positions filled currently. So Gabon?
I can step down if someone wants to take my place. We'll sort something out over sort of the next couple of weeks. Worst case scenario, I can always come back.
Okay, then we'll not confirm you in position for now, but feel free to submit your name in application. I'm going to step down from the council, but I would like I propose the RGA be represented by another baron who is a member of the RGA by the name of Lord Soth. He is a new baron to this land, but he will represent the RGA's and the Crown's interests. So I propose he be given a seat on the council. Anyone object to this?
Who has an automatic seat on the council?
Nobody.
The way you worded that suggests that the RGA have an automatic seat.
No, not at all. But as the guild leader of the RGA, if I'm stepping down, I would like the interest of the RGA to be represented, and I'm proposing Lord Soth carry out that function.
Yeah, there are no automatic memberships, but this council can decide to appoint today anyone that it wishes.
Again, it's the similar principle that there are a number of guilds, and for some guilds to be given a continuous seat without it being put out to others to answer seems strange. I appreciate the RGA are maybe a slightly different case from some other guilds.
Call it chairman's privilege. If you wish to dissent, do so now. Otherwise, I'm going to allocate him a seat on the council. All in favour?
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, all good here.
I consider it passed. My final act, draconian though it may be. Okay, in that case, can we please have a notification sent out by the Royal Courts then, requesting another, notifying that there are, how many positions we got left? 5 positions remaining on the Royal Council, and all applicants will be considered.
No problem. We'll make sure that's done straight away, Chairman.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. All right. I understand that things are heating up in the Demon Rift. There's been some success, and the adventurers who have been sent are pushing forward and making progress. But if we could get an update on the latest news there, I think that would be good to know.
Yeah, we were requested some months ago for a report, but news comes slow from the Demon Rift because it has to travel through magical conduits and they aren't always available. But as we understand it, the clerks have believed that there was initially quite a lot of fatalities and that it was quite tough, but that the adventurers and some new allies that they've gained seem to have banded together and are now proceeding well. It's uncertain the nature of the problem in Demon Rift, but we know that this particular extra dimensional space often causes problems and has been behind some of the difficulties Berenice has had before. So the Crown has allowed some monies to help support the transfers to people there. Bringing them back is always difficult and it's not always possible. So it's a brave adventurer that goes. But yes, as we understand it, things are going well, but they seem to have hit or are hitting stronger and stronger opposition as they proceed through the Demon Rift, and they don't know what they're going to encounter at the end of that. And so I have had a missive from them saying that if there were any other adventurers who wanted to volunteer, they would be absolutely welcome to join the forces of Demon Rift and help succeed.
Now they've established a bit of a beachhead, I think that should certainly be a better prospect than it was before. So hopefully many adventurers will take part and assist. You mentioned new allies. You elaborate on that a little bit?
There are apparently some demons that don't see eye to eye with the other demons. Whether they can be truly called allies, I don't know, but they are working together somewhat, I understand. And then there are people from another realm. Well, we don't know a great deal about them and are waiting on a fuller reports, but they appear to be from a completely different place that we have not previously encountered. So we don't know a great deal about them. They have their own culture and history, and whilst there are a lot of similarities to people from Berenice, there are also some key differences.
Okay, very interesting. Something to keep an eye on and see if we can get more information about that. Particularly interesting to know that they're working with demons. I don't know if the High Priest has any thoughts on that.
I would need more information. Generally, as far as the church is concerned, a demon is a demon. But
Yeah, just
I would suspect maybe they have they prefer to be in power over the existing group of demons as opposed to having any degree of benevolence with us.
so hopefully it's a case of the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yes.
Okay, well,
I was inquiring if new adventurers who are volunteering to go into Demon Rift have any way of going closer to the forward point of the adventurers, or whether they'll have to journey all of the way through the area that's been conquered so far. Is there any way the Crown can assist in pushing them a little bit closer to the action? Otherwise we'll send some new adventurers and they'll be a while behind.
If we were willing to invest a little gold, we could help them mark teleport areas closer to where the front line is, but not so close that they are immediately destroyed when they arrive. And that would be entirely possible if the Crown is willing to invest not a large sum really, perhaps 10,000 gold.
I think it's important that we give as much assistance to our brave colleagues as we can. So I vote to go ahead with that.
The church
agree.
The church supports that wholeheartedly, and we intend to send a delegation of more experienced adventurers.
Okay, please make it
Excellent.
so.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we'll listen to further reports from the Demon Rift with great interest. Is there any other business the council needs to discuss today? Anyone want to bring anything to the table?
Have we heard anything more from Middengast? I believe that the Lord Crusader of Shanna has killed somebody claiming to be one of their dukes somewhere in the middle of the Broken Lands, and previously we've had diplomatic missives from them. I don't know if they've made any reports to this.
So the Crusade mission, as some are calling it, what was meant to be a trade mission, has devolved into some fighting. And you're correct that it appears some of their notable leaders have been slain. Now, we don't know if the term Duke has the same meaning there as it does here, we would have expected a diplomatic contact by now if it did, because if you can imagine if somebody from there had done the same to Bernie, all hell would have broken out. So we feel that probably they have different meanings in their terms, and perhaps Duke isn't a landed title but something else. Either way, their initial envoy seems to have been completely obliterated, and several kind of followers, and there's been a lot of combat with forward troops, so it doesn't look like this mission is setting out at the moment to be a very peaceful one.
No, I think that was a surprise to us all when we sent a peaceful diplomatic delegation, which was attacked as soon as it got close. I think maybe we should send another missive to the to our contacts in Midengast and just inquire again as to who these people are, why they're attacking us.
We'll do that. We've tried a couple of times and not had a response, but we will try again.
The concern is that there are factions in Midengast that we don't understand. So it may be that we've just met some bandits who have given themselves big names, or it could be that we've accidentally attacked the main ruling forces of Midengast, albeit in the middle of the Broken Lands, which is territory belonging to neither country. So it would be good if we, I suppose our only way is to see if the ambassadors get any closer to understand more about what actually the land is like.
Yeah, I think we just need to carry on for now. And my assumption that I think I would proceed under is that these are bandits or rogue elements rather than the, shall we say, lawful government of Midengast.
That's what we're hoping, I think, yeah, Chairman, exactly. And we do think that there might be a good case for that, because it was mentioned in previous missives before we lost communication that there were numerous factions involved. So that could hopefully be the case.
Fantastic. There's enough to worry about with T-Rexes out there, never mind rogue factions. All right, any other business?
What is the status of negotiations with Muldoon?
Completely silent at the moment, High Priest. We've heard nothing new, but again, that could be good news because we've also heard nothing new hostile.
We're having some magical communication breakdowns with the royal clerks.
Nothing new was the basic answer.
Okay. Any High Priest, do you believe we need to take any further action there at this time?
Well,
Oh, we're going to.
Oh, I'll defer to the Lord Crusader Merle.
Oh no, go ahead. I'll wait a minute.
Basically, we're concerned that the longer this goes out without any real dialogue, the longer we're sort of consenting to the Ravens' desires.
Yeah,
I was not aware of the fact that acceptance of this this situation was ordained already.
So Gabriel, did you have something to add?
Well, if we heard nothing from him for a while, I've got how to say a handful of friends who are willing to sort of pop in there and how to say take the city over again. I will be sort of leading them as soon as they're ready, so we can always sort of pop in with a large force. Since this army of border scouts, or whatever they call themselves, are somewhat preoccupied in some dungeon somewhere, we can sort of stroll in and take the city back. Should the Raven turn up, we'll try to make nice to sort of let him know sort of he needs to leave or pay taxes again.
Okay, has the king given any thoughts about his position on this? I know the Queen was very silent on it for a while, but now Dickon is assuming the role of king. What's his position and thoughts? Should we be taking it back? Because if that's what he wants, then I will mobilize the RGA to join the Crusaders.
Well,
Church
with
will
respect,
contribute forces to that.
Chairman,
That is the vision.
with respect, the purpose of the Royal Council was, at least in part, to offer advice to the King in regards to matters such as this. So I think the King would probably welcome, and you speak to him more than us as the clerks do, but I think he would certainly welcome your advice and probably follow it.
That sounds like a don't go in without the King's authorization to me.
If we're talking about actually sending troops towards what I would regard as a city of Berenice, we ought to have the King's Express say so to do so. But it having just been sat there with the Duke apparently having taken over and then not talking to us, there is a concern, of course, that it may actually not be the Duke that's running it. We still have this worry about the deadly sins and the influence they might have been having. So sending a group of adventurers in to investigate whether or not the city is still running normally, and what happened, what the actual authorities appear to be in the city, would certainly be a sensible move to make.
Yep, I mean that mirrors my thoughts there about the the deadly sins I was about to bring up as well. I assume we've had no further news about them other than our assumption that they may be involved in the Muldoon situation.
Well, we know from our magical contacts that all of the deadly sins are out in the land somewhere. It's difficult to determine exactly where, because their magic power is strong and they are easily able to avoid detection. But we know they're not trapped in the dungeon beneath Muldoon as they used to be. We used to think that 5 of them were free, but we're now fairly sure all 7 are out and about.
Okay, thank you. So, Sir Gabon, if you will report back or send a message to the council if you decide not to stand next time, once your forces have reached the city and investigated the situation, it would be good to get an update on the council next session.
Yeah, I'll let you know sort of as soon as they're ready. We've got about 20 or 30 volunteers at the moment, but I'm sure I can round up a handful more. We can we'll go in peacefully and sort of try and sort of see what's in there, and worst case scenario, sort of kill as and when needed, but only if needed.
Yeah, scout out the situation first, find out what's going on.
Lord Crusader, just remind you in case you may have forgotten, I'm currently in the Pits of Muldoon courtyards, and I'd be happy to come upstairs, so to speak, and provide you with whatever assistance I might be able to provide, as well as my retinue.
Well, at the moment, I'm actually sort of down the road from Crown Heart, so it'd be sort of probably a few days or so to I'll get everyone together and sort of tell them what to sort of pop over back to Muldoon and that. There was some health troops around, but I've not seen them sort of been taken out. But you know, reports as what they are. I thought I'd sort of hang around just to make sure the area is clear before moving out. Sort of check on Muldoon, see what's going on in there.
Okay, very good. Well, coordinate your efforts, both of you, and report back to the next council meeting, please. Okay, any other business?
On that
So,
point, what is the current situation of whether you're allowed into Muldoon or not?
That's an interesting question. So the Raven said that he wouldn't allow people in, and yet we are receiving reports that people are travelling to and fro without impedance. So so it's hard to say, but there doesn't seem to be any violent threat against you at the moment.
So there is no prescription on people entering the city.
Well, the Raven said he would not welcome, other than traders, people entering the city, but hasn't stopped people entering the city.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No, I was more thinking from the Crown side. But thank you for the update anyway. Is it worth, given that the council's term is ending, coming to some kind of producing some kind of summary of what is the current goings on with, say, the the 7 deadly sins and where they've been identified as being active, just for the general populace. I know, and equally who is in charge of which cities. Though we raise this regularly and can never identify who's in charge of which city.
So yes, Baron, we do regularly publish the minutes of these meetings on all the main notice boards in every city and in a number of larger towns, so that people can go and look at them and see what happened. And there are also some magical conduits where you can kind of see a video of what happened. So that's interesting, and that's done with like magical illusions, and people are able to follow a specific magical link to see that. In regards to who the rulers are of the cities, that was something that the king did ask this council to determine, and we did determine some of them, but not all of them.
Thank you. That's rather what I thought. Therefore, the ones that aren't assigned need to be identifiable, but at least for the next council to be able to decide on what to do with them.
Yes, we'll do that.
I believe and the only place I've heard of the 7 sins was lust was obviously known about in the old fort, where the girls' night out mission. Lust was seen in person in there, I understand.
Yes, lust was there, and we killed the deadly sin insofar as one can ever do it, in that they then disappeared. I guess the concern is that does that mean they just return somewhere else in Berenice instead of being trapped under Poldoon, as
Or in the same place.
Previously was the case?
Or in the same place.
We don't actually know what the mechanism is that kept them trapped in Poldoon. It's lost to time. So we don't know what it is that they've escaped or quite why. And nobody seems to have an answer to that.
And therefore we don't know how to reinstate it either.
Perhaps we should put together a mission for adventurers to find out the answer to that question.
There's a group of from the Great Library investigating the pits of Poldoon at the moment. We could send a message to them to try and accelerate their efforts and to look for any information about how the deadly sins became trapped or could be trapped there. My understanding is they're still investigating the areas which were occupied by the anti-ethical church, but further down they will start hitting the layers of the deadly sins.
Yeah, that would be useful if you could arrange for the clerks to have copies of the adventurers' ID numbers, their adventurers' pass numbers. That would be useful for us because we could check the license and then mark down that they're helping the Crown with that.
Yeah, I'll certainly liaise with the Great Library to do that.
Thank you very much, Baroness.
There have been signs of activity of the 7 sins anywhere else. I've heard a somewhat brief report that the giant teacup had feelings of envy and gluttony, I believe, in it.
Well, we do know that there's a suspicion that there may be 2 of them in the Red Knights headquarters that's currently being cleared. I believe we received reports that there may be some risk to higher level characters on that particular mission.
Do you know which 2 offhand?
Yeah, it was risk of domination and mental control, wasn't it?
Yes. I don't know that we specifically identified which 2, but
okay, it's not
two very powerful. I believe the report's 2 very powerful signal readings that suggested commonality with deadly sins.
Guess we'll need to get another update from that mission once they progress a little bit further.
My understanding is that Count Hellstrom is back in the forefront of the groups that are surging forward at the lower levels.
Okay, we should certainly be resistant to any such influence. So hopefully he'll carry on on the council, or be able to report back next time. Any other business to discuss? If not, then I will declare this final meeting of this council adjourned.